Hello guys, welcome to episode 10 of the Sports Lounge on Elecbeted TV. The Avengers are not up to their full complement today, but we have a perfect contingency plan as Captain Marvel just flew in. We brought a 10 over 10 for you today, and when I say 10 over 10, I'm not talking about Norwich performance against Manchester City. I'm talking about Morisola Oladejo. It's nice to have you on show today.
So nice to be here.
And also we have the king of grassroots, Emmanuel Sebastian. Emmanuel, how are you doing today?
Very well. Always good to be here as well.
There are a lot of interesting topics that happened over the weekend of football and even in basketball. But let's start with Maureen today. Maureen, the normal concept about women and football is that for a woman to enjoy football, she's probably doing it to impress a guy or probably just thereabout. But you love football genuinely.
I do.
I want to know where that came from.
So for me, it was like all my friends, like all my male friends were watching sports, football most especially, my dad at home. And I felt left out, so to speak. So I started following like the conversation. I remember when Arsenal won the Premier League, like everywhere in Lagos was like going mad, like a bunch of Arsenal. But at that time, I was still very young. But like at that time, I wasn't like really interested. And then from like social media, because I'm on Twitter a lot, and like I would see Hazard. I would see, like, I found those names very interesting, like Hazard, Buffon. I'm like, who are these people? Then I decided to like start watching, and then I fell in love with Manchester United because it was literally the season after Sir Alex Ferguson left, and like they were the underdogs, and like I felt like, because I like to gravitate towards like the underdog, and I felt like, okay, let me stick with these guys so that when they rise up, it will be like a fun story.
Yeah.
Look at me now. Look at me now.
But growing up, was it Manchester United?
No, it was Arsenal in my house. It was mostly
your dad was an Arsenal fan.
it was mostly Arsenal in my house. Yeah, it was Arsenal and AC Milan, I think, in the house. So like I was exposed to it, but like I was exposed to mostly Arsenals. A lot of and the Nigerian football as well. I remember once when Nigeria scored a goal, we're living on like the third floor. And my dad went out to the balcony and he was screaming into the streets. I was a child. I was like, what is this madness? What is going on? But yeah. So like I landed into it because I didn't want to miss out. And then now I'm too far gone to go back.
That's great stuff. So let's get into it, Emmanuel. Over the weekend, we had some amazing results in football. We saw Tottenham and beat Crystal Palace 4-0. Heung-min Son does not score normal goals. He always scores amazing goals. Moving on to Liverpool, it was business as usual for Liverpool. Yeah. Sadio Mané scoring a brace. But to the result of the day, Norwich versus Manchester City, how did Norwich pull it off? It was quite incredible. Take us through that game, please.
I mean, all credit to Norwich City. They played their game, and credit to Daniel Farke, the manager. This man who loves attacking football. A lot of people came out to say Norwich City defended all through. I kind of disagree a bit. I think they started defending properly from the second half, maybe towards the middle of the second half. You know, they played City in the first half. They pressed really high. The same thing they did against Liverpool, but on the day Liverpool were clinical. But you know, City were not at their best, you want to say. But credit to Norwich, they played really well. Tactically, they were there. Timo Pukki and the likes. You know, these are guys who can run. There's an unsung hero in that team. You know, Cantwell. He's a guy, if you play FPL, he's been racking up the points as well. And credit to Timo Pukki as well. I've had him for 3 straight weeks in my FPL.
And he's delivered me.
So a goal and assist. But all credit to Norwich, all credit to Daniel Farke. You need to see how the fans were cheering him at full time. You know, he was adoring the crowd and everything. So tactically, Norwich were very good on the day. They didn't allow City on the ball very much. You know, Sterling, we all know this season who has been on fire with it. Was non-existent in that game. You know, the likes of David Silva as well. Maybe you want to fault Guardiola for not bringing Kevin De Bruyne on, but he's a guy.
He came on.
He came on. But also, like I said, credit to Norwich, they didn't allow City to play their game. The City, we know, and maybe unexpected from what Guardiola was, you know, wanting to see from Norwich. He didn't expect them to come out guns blazing, and the fans cheered them on. They were playing at home at the Carrow Road. So great game from Norwich tactically. I think they played City.
You kept saying something about the fans. I'm going to come to you with that, Maureen. The fans were absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
There are 2 games I've watched in my life prior to this where I saw the fans make a very big impact on the game. One was Real Madrid Wolfsburg. Wolfsburg had beaten Real Madrid in the first leg 2-0. Yeah. Real Madrid came. The Bernabeu was shaking the first minute of the game. The second one would be Liverpool Barcelona. after Barcelona beat
Yeah.
the Anfield was crazy. Well, how much of a role did the fans have to play in this win for Manchester City? We've heard some negative things about fans being racist chants and all of that,
Yeah.
but today they did what they were meant
They
to
did
do.
what they were, yeah, they
So
did what they were there
what's
to
the
do.
impact of
I feel
fans?
like for a team coming from the championship, like the fans are already so proud. Like you're already on, like you've come to the big stage and that you're playing the big boys and you're even like showing promise. So the fans are there like, this is immense, and they are pushing them on. And the guys are on the field thinking like, we can't let these people down. Like they're here in their numbers and they want to see us do well. And the fans, they brought everything that they needed to bring. And the guys also brought everything that they needed to bring for the fans. I feel like it complemented each other very well, and it resulted in that amazing win that nobody saw coming.
Yeah, they sure did. One guy I think went under the radar was Sam Byram, the right back for Norwich. He disturbed Sterling so much they had to change Sterling's wing to the right wing. It was crazy. But another man on fire is Timo Pukki. Where do you guys think he'll end up? Where do you guys think he'll end up in the goal scoring
A
chart?
strong contender.
I think he'll be in the top 5.
A strong contender.
Barring injuries.
A strong contender, I believe so too. A strong
Top five?
contender. Probably, maybe if he keeps going in this way that he's going right now, he's in my FPL. He's not coming out.
Let's quickly move on to another
coming out.
striker who is currently blazing. Tammy Abraham for Chelsea in the 5-2 win over Wolves.
Hat-trick.
Tammy Abraham becomes the third player in the EPL to score 2 goals in 3 consecutive matches. Ronaldo did it, Dele Alli did it. Emmanuel, you missed a penalty in the UEFA Cup final. Your confidence is down. How much of a kudos do we need to give Lampard for sticking with Abraham?
I think we need to give, and credit to Tammy Abraham as well. He was racially abused, not just missing the sports game. I think he was racially abused, and he showed great strength, great character. Yes, the manager believed in him, kept him in the lineup despite the fact that they have an experienced player on the bench to come in and deliver. I'm talking about Olivier Giroud. But Tammy Abraham has done really, really, really well for himself, and he's scoring the goals. He just needs to improve on his physicality. What I saw in him, he's a bit lanky. He shrugs him off the ball a couple of times. But aside that, I think he's got in him. The finishing is there. The hunger is there. He's a young lad who, recently coming up. I mean, he's been given the chance. He's making use of all the opportunities he's been given. So physical-wise, he just needs to improve, bulk up a bit, hold up play. Need to get involved more in hold up play. But Tammy Abraham, I think is a good potential.
Lampard gave us a good surprise as he tinkered his formation a bit. He went to a 3-4-2-1 formation. Was that tactical genius from Lampard?
Credit to him, yeah. I think he played to the strength of Alonso. We saw how Marcos Alonso was during the days under Antonio Conte. He marshaled that wing back role. So I think Lampard saw Emerson was injured. So and you're playing a Wolves. Even it was a surprising result for me. These Wolves are kind of like as people normally say they're Robin Hood of the Premier League. They take points off the big team, and but I was surprised with the result. But Lampard played to the strength of the 11 he had in the day, which is why we saw Marcos Alonso did so well in that game. I think he got an assist in the game as well. So credit to Lampard. I think it was tactical genius from that.
So moving on to Manchester United, but before we leave Chelsea, Maureen, how
Let's talk about the hat-trick.
how about this? Tammy Abraham has scored a Premier League hat-trick before Rashford and Martial. Your club's two leading marksmen.
I am Martial FC. Come rain, come sunshine, come the fight with Mourinho, come everything. I am Team Tony Martial.
But fine, Martial was injured, but Rashford led the line from United against Crystal Palace.
Yeah.
Tammy Abraham just needs 3 goals to equal his best tally. Do you think Rashford and Martial are capable of leading Manchester United back to the glory days?
Of course not. Like Manchester United is a big team, that's one. We're a big team going through a rough time, that's two. So for that, we need somebody on the forefront who is talented enough, consistent enough, and also experienced enough to lead such a team as Manchester United back to title contenders or like a solidified place in the top 4. These days we go for maybe top 4. Last we'll land in the top 6. Martial and
Arsenal.
Yeah, exactly. Arsenal very soon will be contending with Wolves and Everton. For the past 5 years, we've never been a side that. For the past 5 years, we've never been a side that everybody looks up to and says, "Oh, these people are a threat to us." So we cannot put that on the shoulders of Martial and Rashford. we lost a great contender for that like leadership role in Lukaku. We'll probably soon lose it in Pogba. And we had all these contenders in the transfer window. Icardi, this person, that person.
None of them
nothing materialized. So I just feel like maybe the board, the management, the coach, people are not ready to like move to the next level because I mean, what are we doing? Hinching Manchester United's success on Martial. Martial has like just like shows of brilliance. Like one game he'll come in and it's like, oh, Tony Martial.
I remember that Liverpool game.
Bro, like he'll come in and it's like, and everybody's like, Martial FC, we're eating good today. And then for like 3 games, you don't see him again. Rashford scores 1 fantastic goal, misses 3 penalties, fires balls everywhere for like the next 3 consecutive games. We can't get ahead with those kinds of strikers leading our team.
But did you think United would beat Leicester? It was 3 points at the end of the day. It was not the best of
3 points from a penalty. I mean, but I guess. To be honest, like these days I'm disillusioned with them. Like when I see, I'm like, okay, like I mean, like I'll watch it if I'm at home, but like if I'm not at home, I'm not struggling to like watch it. Like if I'm at home and like I'm not feeling sleepy, I'll watch it. But if I'm feeling sleepy, I'd rather sleep because it will end in tears. Like you watch it, like it will end in tears. Like you cannot be certain that these guys will win. These guys lost against Crystal Palace at home, bro. Where do we go from there?
Which is why selling Lukaku without replacing him
was a terrible idea.
I think they need someone who's been there before, who's done it to,
who's done it there or who's done it somewhere else.
So
yeah.
While we feel more in Spain, we'll go on a short break now. Now we didn't give Manchester City a break, but we'll give you one. We'll go to Ayatunde Onabolu for the best of basketball. Last week he was telling us about players making positive choices, but now he's talking about clubs and how they make their choices. How are you doing?
Hey guys, I'm excited as always to do this with y'all. Hey basketball fans, welcome to the best of basketball with me, Ayo, on the Sports Lounge, only on Elegbete TV. It's always an absolute delight whenever I have the opportunity to talk about the best sport on the planet. I bet my guys in the studio will be beefing me so much right now for saying basketball is the best sport on the planet. Well, I'm a Yankee. Come and beat me. All right, in the past 2 weeks, we have been looking at the concept of decisions, good and bad decisions, and how they have affected those who have had to make them. And we have looked at players who made good and bad decisions. Now it's the turn of teams who made good and bad decisions. Believe it or not, the difference between teams that have won NBA championships like the Boston Celtics, Los Angeles Lakers, Chicago Bulls, Golden State Warriors, and the San Antonio Spurs, and the teams that have not won a title like the Los Angeles Clippers, Oklahoma City Thunder, ridiculous Minnesota Timberwolves, and BS Sacramento Kings. It's simple. It's all about decisions. So in this episode, we'll be looking at teams that took decisions that went horribly wrong. I mean, it could not have gone any worse for such teams. First up, it's the Minnesota Timberwolves. The date was June 25, 2009. The location was the Madison Square Garden in New York. And the event was the NBA draft. And after the draft lottery, the Timberwolves landed the 6th overall pick. A day to the draft, the Timberwolves were involved with the Washington Wizards in a trade that saw them acquire the 5th overall pick from the Wizards. So that meant the Timberwolves had both the 5th and the 6th picks of the 2009 NBA draft. Surely they could not get it all wrong, could they? Trust me, they absolutely screwed it the hell up. I can't even believe I'm talking about this right now. Now, big names like Blake Griffin and James Harden had been drafted ahead of Minnesota's turn, but when it was time to select their first of 2, the Timberwolves selected point guard Ricky Rubio from Spain. Now, I am not bashing Rubio, but at that time, Rubio was a guard whose only ability was to pass the basketball. Like other draftees, there was potential, which the Timberwolves saw, but due to the apparent lack of foresight, they did not think the league would become a jump shooting league. Hence, their decision to draft someone with no jumper. I bet you know Ricky just developed a reliable jump shot last season, a whole 10 years after he was drafted. With the 6th pick, which they acquired from Washington, the Timberwolves selected another point guard, Johnny Flynn. Whew. I bet most of you watching me right now do not know who the hell Johnny Flynn was or is. Let's just say Flynn's NBA career lasted a grand total of only 3 years. Dang. So why am I so livid with the Timberwolves, you may be wondering? Here's why. Remember, they selected 5th and 6th, yeah? Now check this out. With the 7th overall pick, the Golden State Warriors selected Stephen Okechukwu Curry. Man, how did Timberwolves miss it? The rest is history. Steph and the Warriors, they've won 3 NBA titles, and they've played in the last 5 NBA finals. Curry himself is a 2-time NBA MVP, a 6-time All-Star. He's the greatest shooter in all of time and history. In the 10 years since the Timberwolves overlooked Curry and instead chose Rubio and Flynn, they've made the playoffs only once. Once, people! I'll leave you to imagine what could have been if Curry had actually gone to the Timberwolves. Hey. Next team in the horrible decisions category would have to be the Oklahoma City Thunder. Whew, just think about it, guys. Think about this. 3 of the last 6 NBA MVPs were drafted by OKC. I'm talking about Kevin Durant, Russell Westbrook, and James Harden. To add to that, NBA champion and 3-time NBA All-Defensive First-Team member Serge Ibaka was drafted by OKC. The period of time from 2009 to 2012 saw the rise of the Thunder, which culminated in an NBA Finals appearance in 2012, where they lost in 5 games to the Miami Heat. But of course, you could tell the future was ultra bright if they could keep the core of the team together. But it was never to be so. It started with the trade of James Harden to the Houston Rockets in 2012, simply because they were not willing to sign him to a maximum contract extension worth $52 million over 4 years. Woo! Can you imagine that? And then OKC still made strides, and they were only 1 win away from a place in the 2016 NBA Finals, having taken a 3-1 lead over the Golden State Warriors before the Dubs mounted a ridiculous comeback. But that was not reason to be discouraged, yeah? Then, Ibaka was traded in June of 2016 to the Orlando Magic. And while fans were still thinking of how to come to terms with Ibaka's departure, Kevin Durant, who was a free agent, announced he'll be joining the Golden State Warriors. And that left Westbrook as the only surviving piece of what could have become a dynasty. Then Westbrook himself was traded this summer, bringing an end to one of the most exciting teams of all time and bringing us to one of the biggest what-if scenarios ever. Just imagine what could have been achieved by a team with Westbrook at point, Harden at shooting guard, Durant at small forward, Ibaka at power forward, and Steven Adams at center. Just think about it. And on that note, I say thank you for watching the best of basketball with me, Ayo, on the Sports Lounge, only on Elegbete TV. It's clutch time, baby. Take it away, guys.
So welcome back, guys. Ayo, I'm just going to say one thing to you. I need you to come here for one episode and repeat that statement. That's what I need. Just from you. Just come here, one episode, and repeat that statement. I'm waiting for you too. But anyways, thank you very much, Ayo. Emmanuel, Sadio Mané scored a brace over the weekend. The Sadio Mané in the story score a brace.
He got an assist. Yeah. So, so he didn't score 2 goals, but let's hear from the man himself.
So, I'm Opeyemi Lawal, also known as Mané. My teammates call me Mané because I play like Mané. I have a spirit, I have a strength, and we play similar position. I've been following Mané since he was playing for Southampton. I hope to see Mané someday to get his autograph, pictures, and I hope to play with him. Keep watching Elegbete TV. Mané, peace out.
Yeah, so that's Opeyemi Lawal. So this is
Sadio Mané.
This is Sadio Mané. Yeah. So a quick update from the league. So it's now going to be a Super 8. So 4 teams from each group, so that they're going to have a quarterfinal, semi-final stage, and barring any unforeseen circumstances, the league will end next month. So yes, so looking at the league now, we see the likes of FC Goshen and FC Bethel having 2 games left to play. So those are the teams at the top 2 spots in the other group standings, and the likes of Dominion Hotspur, the team Opeyemi Lawal plays for. So they are on top of the table. We saw the fixtures played during the week. They were victorious against Starbase. This time Starbase have their regular goalkeeper in goal. So but he considered at the end. So it was a 2-0 victory for Dominion Hotspur. Fantastic game. You know, it was the fixture of the week, so the biggest game of the week as well. So Opeyemi Lawal, credit to him, got an assist in that goal. His beautiful runs normally from the flank, so it was a good game for them. So Super 8, yes. So it's getting intense. So some teams have 2 games to play, some 3 games to play. So as the fixture piles up, we get to know who the teams will be, and it's going to be played in the space of 4 days. Yeah, in October. So that's when we know who the winner is going to be. And talking about the Mikura, like I mentioned last week, it was rainy in Ajegule, so there were no fixtures this past weekend. So we know how the pitches are. We saw clips of the Maracana last weekend when we were talking about the Mikura tournament. So it was waterlogged, so fixtures couldn't go on. It was raining raining catalog all through the weekend. So, but I'll keep updating our viewers how the fixtures go across the next weekend as well. So that's pretty much about it.
Thank you very much, Emmanuel. Moving from Ajegunle and this is
Ajegunle.
Ajegunle. sorry. Moving from Ajegunle and Surulere going to Obalende. Apparently, we have the Obalende Chimamanda in our site here. Maureen is actually a feminist.
Yeah.
And I was going to ask you, what does feminism mean to you?
It's simple. Like the real Chimamanda says, social, political, economic equality of the sexes. Is basically it. Every other thing is an offshoot, but that is the basic, the basic tenet is social equality, political equality, economic equality.
If this was a normal talk show, we would have delved
would have gone deeper into that.
But I'm still going to link it to football.
Okay.
The Women's World Cup, Megan Rapinoe was amazing. She played her life out. And she also made some very strong comments that I would like you to talk on. She said there should be equal pay.
Right.
Is that feasible right now?
Well, for me, I feel like most of feminism is easy I personally am also guilty of that. It's easy to get carried away, it's easy to get emotional because you see all this equality that is going on in the world and you want to jump to the end, which is good, which is visionary. But for right now, equality when it comes to pay in professional sports, professional football can only come when the two male, female angles of the sport, they're making the same amount of money. So if you make the same amount of money, you rack up the same amount of sponsorship, you rack up the same amount of funds for the organizers, then you get paid the same thing. But for right now, if there's going to be equal pay, it's going to be based on, are you getting paid the same ratio that your male counterparts are getting paid? But to be getting paid the same amount on the dollar when you're not making the same amount of money on the dollar, it's not economically feasible. I don't think that's wise when it comes to business. It's good as a feminist frontier. This is what we're fighting for. But to think that economically people are going to be paying you more money than you're making for them, I can say that it's not even fair to expect that. But I love Megan Rapinoe. I love that her ideas are out of this world because people are like, oh, she talks too much. Zlatan Ibrahimovic
talks too much.
Bro, he talks too much. He says all these ridiculous things. There can only be one Zlatan. Like he says all these outrageous things and nobody ever bats an eyelid. And people even love him for it. But Megan Rapinoe says one thing, give me equal pay. And all of a sudden she's a bitter feminist. You don't give these women anything, they will take it too far. It's like, relax. Like listen to what she's saying, critique the idea with logic, and also like let her see where she's coming. Of which now she's like leading, legislation. She's going to Congress to testify and do all these things. So like I'm sure she's doing the work. She's not just saying things. So if they're going to reach an agreement, they're going to reach a a solution. It's going to be a logical solution. She's not just sitting on her horses, just like shouting and doing things. I feel like that's what like feminism is about. That's what like you don't see the dirty work. You only see her when she goes on TV to say, I want equal pay. But you don't see her when she wears her suit and goes to Congress to tell these people, let's hold, sponsors accountable. Let's do this, let's do that. So I hope that like in the next 10 years, we're discussing when we're on break about how exponentially, if women's sports keeps making the same amount of money they're making now exponentially, over the next 3 World Cups, we may see a women's World Cup that makes the same amount of money as a men's World Cup. Then we'll have a conversation about equal pay on the dollar.
Basically, not right now.
Not right now on the dollar. Not right now. Not right now.
Emmanuel, we actually discussed this somewhat back as your mind changed about the equal pay discussion.
So I mean, not now, but in subsequent World Cups, like we saw, the buzz of football is in France. France won the male World Cup. I mean, the dominant team when you talk about female club football, is Lyon. You know, the current world player, you know, for the female plays in Lyon as well. So the buzz, everything is going around in France. So if we can have that, you know, consequently,
Multiply, right?
so I think equal pay might just
It might be a conversation here that we can feasibly have.
Thank you very much. You've heard from the Avengers on equal pay again. We'll be going on another short break, but when we come back, we'll be going around the other leagues and we'll wrap up.
My name is Yesenia. I am from San Antonio, US. I watch Elevate TV. Hi, my name is Maureen. I'm from Uganda and I watch Elevate TV.
Hi, my name is Oscar and I am from San Antonio, USA, and I like to watch Elevate TV.
So welcome back, guys. As we always say, time is always moving very fast when you're having fun. So we'll quickly wrap up the leagues before we round up for today. In La Liga, we saw Barca beat Valencia by 5-2, and Sufati was amazing. The 16-year-old boy scored a goal and gave an assist in just 10 minutes. Moving quickly on to the Bundesliga, Bayern drew, and Lewandowski is a man currently on fire. He's just scoring. There are a lot of strikers that are just scoring so many goals. Like, what's going on? They're also, but they drew that game 1-1 with Leipzig. Forsberg as well also scored the goal. Then moving on to Dortmund. Dortmund won their own game. Paco Alcácer, another striker,
cannot stop scoring.
He cannot stop scoring. But where I want us to end with is Neymar.
The good one.
Neymar. Neymar was booed throughout the game against Strasbourg. Come the 92nd minute, a cross from Bernat, and what a wonderful goal. Neymar reminded us why he is considered the third best player after Messi and Ronaldo. But I'm gonna ask you, what does the future hold for Neymar, especially after the debate that went over his future over the summer? Does he have? He came out with some statement, very strong statement. He said, "I felt sad for him." It was like now every game is gonna seem like an away game for him because of the way they were going in. Does he have a future in PSG?
First of all, what a way to announce your comeback. You know, it was a wonderful goal he scored. I mean, doing an overhead kick with a weaker foot. So it was majestic, and that's Neymar-esque, the Neymar we know. So, I still think he has a season with PSG. Yeah, it's normal for the fans to jeer him. This is a guy who tried to force him move away from the club, from the fans. So yes, despite the fact he has his own off-field behavior, sanctions and the likes, we see distracting the club, distracting the managers and the board as well. But I still think a couple of seasons more, but he'll get the move eventually. Neymar, yeah, he'll make that move.
You think he will make that move?
I think he will.
Maureen, how good is Neymar for you? Is he actually up there?
He's up there. I believe he's up there. I believe he's like maybe third best after. I mean, third best is like a shaky position. The only solid positions in my mind are Messi and Ronaldo. Messi is my number one.
Okay.
But like third best, yeah, he's in the conversation for third best. And I would also like to say, like, I don't understand why the PSG fans are taking it so personally. I mean, like, when did they get so emotionally attached to Neymar?
It's understandable. You've been signed for the world record fee, and just after 2 seasons you're leaving without doing what?
It's the business. Like, it's the business.
You think so?
He just needs to
maybe because it's not my club. Maybe because it's not my club. So like I cannot be like I cannot say. So I'm being objective because it's not my club. But like you're booing your own player on his first day back.
That wanted to leave.
Yeah, I think it's fair enough.
Well,
he just needs to shut them up by
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. He was able to
So,
shut them up with that fantastic goal, and everybody's like, Neymar, what have you done?
Do you think he's gonna leave?
I think, of course, he's gonna leave. Like he wants to leave.
Where do you think would be the best place for him to go to?
Back to where he's comfortable. Barcelona. Back to where he's comfortable. Where is going to be? Where is the space for him in Barcelona? No one knows. Maybe if Messi is inching his way out, he's on his way out, so everybody's utter dismay. So maybe that will give him like a clear position. But for right now, where is this? There's Suarez. There's Griezmann. Like where is his place? But like eventually his place will be solidified in Barcelona if he's going to go back anywhere. But if he can come to the Premier League, we need players in Manchester United. Manchester United.
Before I wrap up, I'm going to give a little secret about Maureen.
No.
So apparently Maureen complained when David Beckham left Manchester United to Real Madrid. She complained when Gabriel Heinz did the same.
When
she
Ronaldo
complained when
did
Van
the same.
Nistelrooy did the same. She complained when Ronaldo did the same. But guess what she did? She left all the Manchester United supporters and is currently dating a Real Madrid fan.
How will it be?
What type of betrayal is this?
How will it be if two of us are sad on the same day? Let's hedge the risk. Let's hedge the risk.
To even it up, right?
Exactly.
So how's it gonna be in your house if Real Madrid is playing Manchester United?
We'll just pray that one person wins so that like one person will keep the energy. If two of us are sad, it's like day or day. Just let me be.
Thank you very much, guys. We've reached the end of the episode 10 of the Sports Lounge. But I'm going to do something differently. I'm going to leverage on the beautiful smile of our Captain Marvel. She's going to tell you to please subscribe. Maureen, please take the show.
Click the link below and subscribe to the channel for more informative and entertaining sports TV. Thank you.